Hey USY Facts fans, I'm Will Landman, Metney USYer and founder of USY Facts, and I'm very excited to introduce Hagalil 2011-2012 Regional President and 2012 International President Joshua L. Thanks again for taking the time out of your busy schedule, Josh, for this interview.
Oh, no problem, Will. Thanks for having me.
So when did you start USY?
I started USY in freshman year, but I was also very involved in Kadima. I started Kadima in sixth grade and was involved since, and it's been incredible. I love Kadima, I love USY, and just been involved since it started.
So did you ever imagine being where you are now in the organization?
To be honest, absolutely not. I never had any intention of running for international board. I really just took my journey, I would say, call it my journey through USY, kind of step by step, especially with my leadership positions, starting on the chapter level, slowly moving up to regional, and then really giving it that all-important thought of running for international. And I decided to, and it was the best decision I ever made.
So who influenced you to become a leader in USY?
There's a lot of people over the years who have influenced me. I would definitely say those who came before me, such as staff members or other leaders, especially in Hagalil. But also not necessarily who, but what. I would definitely say that my summer program experiences, both on USY on Wheels, Plus A, 2009, what up? And Eastern Europe Israel Pilgrimage 2011 G8, how's it going? Those two summer experiences with USY really inspired me to be where I am today and just be a great person all around in general. They change your life and really make you a great person. So, yeah.
So what was the first event you can remember going to?
Ooh, my first event. Oh, I remember this fondly. Was in Toms River, New Jersey, Hagalil's most southern chapter, and it was in sixth grade for Kadima Winter Shabbaton, and I walked in with my best friend, and we had no clue what was going on. I had no clue what I was doing, and we were joking around on the way there, saying like, "Oh, how cool would it be if the people we stayed with had this awesome car or this big house?" And we were just joking around. We're like, "Oh, that'd be awesome if they had a Hummer, right?" So, little boys, Hummer is a really big deal. And it turns out later that night when they picked us up from synagogue, they were driving a Hummer. So it was really cool and a really great memory, and it's just an awesome experience. Great way to start off Kadima.
So out of the 5 positions other than president, which one is your favorite and why?
I mean, I think every president or everybody in USY, whether they're in a leadership position or not, kind of says, well, I'm this, or I'm a Sado, or I see myself as a com type of thing. I'd say I'm a memprog. Well, in Hagalil, we call it memprog for membership programming vice president, and everybody else, all 16 other regions call it membership Kadima vice president. But I kind of see myself, I really see myself as a membership program vice president and a membership Kadima vice president. I love membership. I love socializing with people. I love talking to people. I love people. And, I also really like Kadima and just that position as a whole, and with throwing in some programming in there, and I love all that. So overall, I feel like it's one of the most valuable positions, and it's the one I would definitely say I love the most.
So what was it like being regional president, and what do you enjoy the most about it?
Well, being regional president is the greatest thing ever. I made so many friends in my region. I met amazing kids in chapter leadership positions. I met awesome adults on youth commission, on our youth commission in Hagalil, who really just give their time for the better of the kids and the youth in our state. And just overall, being regional president, you get to meet people, you get to lead a region of amazing kids. You get to do things, work behind the scenes at board meetings, and have a really great camaraderie with your board, plan events, run events, and just overall, it's fabulous. There's nothing like it, and you're a president of one region out of 17 regions that make up a really legitimate organization, and it's a really important position, and it's a lot of fun, and it was definitely an honor being president over the past year.
So what do you love about Hagalil?
Oh, there's a lot of things I like about Hagalil. But what really sticks out for me is really the Ruach. Everybody in Hagalil just has this uplifting spirit about them. Everybody's always just got so much energy and ready to do things, and ready for new fun activities, and they can break out and dance at any moment, and just sing till the sun goes down, which they do. But also what I really like and what makes Hagaleo unique is really our close proximity to each other, which makes our events a little bit easier to get to, and makes having, more events possible. And also what's really special about Hagaleo is, everybody feels they have incredible staff in the region. I gotta tell you, something about Hagaleo staff. They are out of this world. Our staff, and especially our regional youth director, Dossie Mark, she is absolutely fabulous. So it's a lot of great stuff going on in Hagaleo.
So what would you recommend to people who are running for regional president?
Well, as I said before, regional president is a really valuable position. There's a lot of work it entails. It's, like I said, you're a president of a major Jewish organization. You really need to be committed. You need to be focused. Don't just run for the title, because that's really not what it's all about. And you really need to be a people person who knows your region, who's ready to, willing to put in effort, and also understand that it is a huge responsibility. But at the same time, it is so much fun. You get to make such a big impact, on the USYers and on this organization that we all love. And you just get to meet, your fellow counterparts on the international level. You get to travel a little bit. And it's just everything about being regional president is fantastic. You just have to, really say to yourself, am I ready to put wholeheartedly all my effort? Am I ready for it to take up a lot of time in my schedule? And, is this something I want for, my junior, senior year in USY? And I think for many people, as long as you're committed and you're ready to put in the work, it can really enhance your USY experience. And, the whole point of it is to really make it better for everybody. So just be ready to make a difference, be ready to work a little bit, and have a great time. And smile. Smiling definitely helps.
So when did you consider running for international board?
Like I said before, international board, I really had no clue I was going to do this. It was always, oh, that would be awesome. Or like, can you imagine if, you ever ran for international board? It's always that big, position. Like, never going to happen. But after I got home from Eastern Europe, it's called pilgrimage this summer, I realized it was just something about that trip. Wheels was incredible on its own, but, being, a few years older in USY and, stepping up, to a regional position by that point, Eastern Europe Israel pilgrimage really, I say this word a lot, really inspired me and, made me think, do I want this? Is this something I want to consider doing? And I started going through the application process and looking into it and talking to some people. And the more, as the months went by and as it got closer, I really said to myself, this is what I need to do. And just go for it, because I'll regret it if I don't, win or lose. And it worked out for the best.
So did you apply for IGV? And if so, what position?
So last year I did apply for IGB. I applied for the membership committee. And unfortunately I was not selected to be on IGB. But I mean, look at me now. I think it just shows that, USY just got to keep trying. And whether you're in a leadership position or not, it's USY. Whatever you do, wherever you are in the organization, you're going to love it. You're going to have fun. And it's okay not to win everything. And you don't have to. And I think, I brushed it off. I really said, you know what? Everything's meant to be. Everything happens for a reason. And I kept trying and, my luck worked out for me. And I would just encourage everybody to get involved somehow, whether that's being in a leadership position or just coming to events and making friends, Whatever you got to do to make USY work for you, it's all good.
So how did you feel when they called your name for international president?
That was the craziest 5 minutes of my life. Words cannot describe it. I really was humbled, honored, and completely in shock, to be honest. Like I said, this was really something I never thought I would do. I ran, and I definitely, if I got elected, I was ready to work and ready to make a difference, but I didn't really know, what my chances were of winning, and I was up against some really great friends and some really great leaders, and I couldn't believe it. I actually really didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I started crying. I started shaking. I was a mess, but it was the crazy 5 minutes of my life. But, having all my friends who I've grown up with around me and my, US family just supporting me there, win or lose, it was, it was an incredible experience running, and winning was, I still can't believe it. It was fantastic.
So what do you feel will be the toughest aspect of being both regional and international president for the remainder of your year?
So this is something that I had to think about before national. How was I going to balance these two major positions? And really that's, the toughest part about it is balancing both. And I feel like once I took on the position, learned for the first week or two, kind of tested out, what works for me, what doesn't. I really have now found a equal balance where I can give equal amount of time to both positions. I'm still giving full-fledged effort to both. And it's actually a lot of fun doing both. I thought it was going to be a little crazy and kind of stressful. And in a way, it's good stress. I like having both, and one kind of helps the other, vice versa. And it's amazing. Then it's not that, it's tough, but as long as, now that I figured out how to, work it, it's great. I love it.
So what do you feel it takes to be a good leader?
Well, to be a good leader, I think, first of all, you have to be ready to be a role model, a dogma, an example. And I think that, really means watching your actions, watching what you do, watching what you say, and, really just doing positive things, which we all should. But, being somebody, we've all had those people that we've looked up to over the years. And I think you really need to decide what that was that you liked about that person. And see if you can do that yourself, because people are going to look up to you when you're in a leadership position. And I also think being a good leader, you really need to make sure you stay on the same level as those you're overseeing. Because as much as people are going to look up to you and see you as a role model, the title should not mean anything. It should be the work you put into it and the people that you're affecting. So just, kind of not letting that obnoxiousness or letting the title get to your head, but realizing, you're here to make a difference and inspire those who are below you and are looking up to you. So, yeah.
So what are some of the perks of being on international board?
Well, being on international board, it's not a big party. We don't just sit here and party all the time. We have a lot of fun together. We do a lot of work, but there are those perks that come along with it. I would say my number one is really creating that new family with your international board, and that includes the IGB, but mainly the executive board, who I get to talk to a lot and interact with, and just have a lot of fun, meeting and getting to know. And because, you can't predict who you're going to be on board with. And you're kind of forced into this situation of becoming a family with these people. And it sounds kind of crazy, but it's really nice. And my entire board, I love them, and they're great people. So that's one of the perks of having them and hanging out with them and talking to them and having 5 new friends. Also being able to run and plan the spring boards weekend and fall boards weekend. And for those who don't know what they are, the international leadership of USY on IGP and the executive board and regional, board members get to come in the spring and in the fall for these weekends of leadership training and get to interact with their counterparts. So that's a really cool experience getting to do that. And also, really the other perk is just being able to meet people throughout North America, at these weekends at IC, talking to people and getting a feel for, how USY runs throughout the country, but just, even without USY, just talking to people, making new friends and, expanding your boundaries, I would say. On the international level, you really get to break out of your little comfort zone, of Hagalil or, wherever you're from, and see what life is like, in other regions and throughout the country and Canada. I love Canada. It's a great place.
So what is your favorite aspect of USY?
My favorite aspect of USY, it might be cliche, but I love Ruach, and I really like Shabbos. USY really turned me on to the whole aspect of Shabbos and being in that, Kehillah, that community with everybody. And I think I can speak for the entire organization, everybody I know, when I say that there ain't no Shabbos like a USY Shabbos. It is pretty special, and having that Ruach and singing, coming together for this one purpose of just having fun and singing for singing and just to scream and just not being worried if anybody's judging you and just having a blast. And that's really my favorite aspect of USY.
So if you could describe USY in one sentence, what would you say?
USY is a place where you can just be yourself. And I think it's really important because I think we all know that we're all a little bit crazier in USY than we are in school or, outside of conventions and stuff. And I mean, you go to IC, you see people just dance, they'll sing, they'll be doing karate, people will be wearing onesies and costumes and whatnot. And it's really a place where you can just let yourself go and not feel the stress of school. And I know that's more than one sentence, but just have a blast and great if anybody's judging you, and it's great.
So what are your goals for the organization for this year?
Well, between myself and the rest of the international board and GB, we have goals. And I always say this, we're ready to make a difference. This is a year where we are ready to make change for the better and, have positive influence on this organization. So just some of, my personal goals are to increase membership, something people say a lot, but to really, look at new creative ways to do that and working with the membership committee and the international membership vice president. Also, I really want to increase summer programs involvement. I think everybody needs to go on a USY summer program. Don't let money be an issue. Don't let other factors, weigh in. Talk to people about it. See if you can work it out, because USY summer programs are incredible and they really make your experience and your life just so much better. And so that's one of my things is, increasing summer program involvement and getting publicity out about that. And also, being in various leadership positions over the past 4 years, I really want to, motivate our leaders, both, on chapter levels, regional levels, and even on international level, just to really motivate them to become strong leaders, both in our movement, but, in the Jewish religion as a whole, and really continue to have USY continue to produce global leaders that are affecting change throughout the world in various positions. And, that's really just smiling, having fun, meeting people, and really just continuing to make USY the greatest, conservative youth groups in the entire world, if not the best, because it is.
So looking back when your time in USY is over, what will be one thing you enjoyed the most out of everything you have done in USY?
Well, out of everything I've done in USY, I think it would really just be the effort I've put into, my leadership positions and the friendships I've made and just everything about it. One thing that you think will be one thing that I'll remember, or looking back, like I said, I just say the effort. It's really worthwhile to look back and see the late nights that I've stayed up working on projects, or talking to people, or all the phone calls that I've had, and just last planning stuff. What's amazing about USY is it really is a youth-run organization, and that's what I think is special about it. And seeing the impact that I've had, whether that new rock song I taught to my region this year, or the leadership session at our Leadership Training Institute in Hagalil that inspired that chapter president to move on to become something greater. Just stuff like that. Really seeing the influence that I've had on people in the organization.
So now, for some fun questions to get to know the international president, or you, a little better. So, favorite food?
Ooh, I love fun questions. Favorite? I really like any type of kosher meat. I love meat. I'm not a vegetarian. Sorry to all you vegetarians out there. I'm a huge fan of brisket with gravy on a hard roll with some coleslaw on the sides and a round knish, not square knish, round knish. Those of you kosher deli, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm a meat guy. Give me some ribs, some pastrami. It's all good. Saturday morning lunches at conventions. Saturday afternoon lunches, sorry. Good stuff.
So what kind of music do you like?
I kind of have a wide, strange range of music. I love music, just as much as the next guy. I'm a huge fan of oldies like The Temptations, Frank Sinatra, one of my favorites. Great guy. I also really like Jewish a cappella. Huge fan of Jewish a cappella. And otherwise, just really anything. I like some modern stuff, not so much rap, but some hip hop, some oldies like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, totally my thing. Not so much a Justin Bieber guy. The hair just doesn't do it for me. But I'm really good for anything.
So what kind of hobbies, what are your hobbies when you aren't swamped in USY and schoolwork?
I really like volleyball. I played volleyball freshman and sophomore year of high school, and then I stopped to do USY stuff. But overall, volleyball is just an awesome sport that not many people, realize, guys can play volleyball too. So volleyball is something I like doing in my spare time. Just cliche, hanging out with some friends. I'm also, people don't know, or they might know, I'm a YouTube junkie. I love YouTube. Personally, funny Jewish videos are great. So if you have any, feel free to send them to me. I'm also a Facebook addict, which is a problem. I'll admit it. I need to wean myself off. It's bad. I'm always on Facebook. And I like eating. If I'm not doing anything, I'm probably eating. So, yeah.
So what kind of movies do you like, or genre, like comedy, horror, etc.?
I really like comedy. I love to laugh. And I would say my favorite movies are probably Dodgeball. One of the first movies I remember seeing once I got, the teenage years, and Wedding Crashers. Oh, I love Wedding Crashers. Don't stop laughing the entire movie.
So favorite actor or actress?
So, I have a bunch of favorite actors. I really like Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, remember the Titans, great movie, Samuel Jackson, James Earl Jones, and Will Smith. All great people, great actors. really just like them all. Anything they're in, I like to go see. So, yeah.
So do you know where you're going to college yet? And if yes, where?
I actually have no clue where I'm going to college. I'm still waiting for these acceptances to come in, hopefully acceptances, and we'll see where I go. But as of now, I have officially going on Nativ next year. Woo! Really excited. And I'll be spending the next 9 months in Israel with the Conservative Movement's Gap Year program on Nativ. Everybody should check it out, nativ.org. And just, so that's what I'm doing for now. And I'm waiting to hear back, and we'll see where I wind up, but I'm really excited for the next year.
So, biggest pet peeve?
Well, it kind of goes along with my food addiction. I'm a picky eater. So people who put stuff on the same plate and it touches and it gets soggy and stuff like that, can't deal with it. And I also hate people who slurp. Sorry if you're a soup slurper. A soup slurper. Can't do it. I just can't do it. I probably won't yell at you, but I'll get really quiet and put my head, closer to my food and just not talk to you. Because it just makes me uncomfortable. I can't take it. But otherwise, I'm a nice guy, I think. I don't really have that many other pet peeves.
So, favorite snack?
Favorite snack. I don't see this anymore on the shelves, but for those of you who were born in 93 or 94, you might know what I'm talking about, or just in the 90s, which is probably all of us. I'm a huge fan of Dunkaroos. It's a little pack. You get these little kangaroo dudes, and you get to either buy the chocolate or the vanilla frosting. And in this little portable thing, you get to dunk kangaroo, hence the Dunkaroos. And I'm personally a fan of the chocolate. I don't know if you like the chocolate or the vanilla, Will. Do you have a preference?
I think I was a chocolate person myself.
I feel ya. Chocolate's where it's at. Absolutely. But yeah, favorite snack by far.
One thing you wish you could cross off your bucket list.
Bucket list. I would say taking a road trip with my Hagalil senior guys. Definitely something I want to do. I have a really tight group of friends who we've been in kindergarten with since 6th grade, and now that we're all seniors, drive. We really want to take a road trip and go somewhere. Not for too long, but a quick road trip on the East Coast or something, and just having an overnight or two, and really just bond and hang out and reminisce about our good times together. So hopefully I'll get to cross that off soon, but we'll see.
So where do you want to travel?
I really want to travel to New Zealand. I think it's it is off the map, and I think it's really cool to say you went to New Zealand, and I heard it's beautiful there. The only thing I just dreading is the long flight, but I think it will be worth it. I think it's just really far from everything, as we all know, and just a good place to clear your mind, sit out on the beach, look at the sunset. It'd be really nice to go there.
So who inspires you?
Who inspires me? I would say just in general, people who are really making a difference in the world and helping others. I have this awesome fascination with nonprofit organizations and charity work, and I love social action stuff. So really is involved with that type of thing. And what I think is really special also at USY is, we bring in people like Mark Elliott at IC. In Hagalil, we heard from the National Coalition for the Homeless, and I know at Heschel Keenis, speakers from the National Coalition for the Homeless came and spoke about, their experiences being homeless and how we can combat that. I think just people like that who are, not only helping those change their lives, but people who have turned their lives around, whether it's from addiction or, poverty, and are, coming out and speaking about it and making a difference, which I think is really nice.
Do you have a favorite book or favorite books?
So I recently read a book, which I cannot recommend more. Oh, it's awesome. It's called Have a Little Faith by Mitch Albom. Really inspiring book, a lot about religion and a lot about, just life in general, and a lot of stuff I just related to from my USY experiences and, growing up, in the conservative movement. So Have a Little Faith by Mitch Albom. Everybody go read it and talk to me about it when you're done. We can start a little book club. And going back a couple of years, I'm a huge fan of Silly as It Sounds, of Captain Underpants. I have the whole collection. I even have pencils and stuffed animals. Yeah, look, hey, here he is. I love Captain Underpants. And but otherwise, yeah, those are my favorite series and my favorite book.
Well, thanks again for taking the time out of your busy schedule. When we did this interview with the 2011 International President DJ Kaplan, It was the first video we ever did. I'm glad the cycle has continued for the 2012 year. I hope this has offered a lot of insight about the newly elected 2012 international president. Thanks for doing this, Josh.
No problem. And I'm happy to do it again. And just thanks for the opportunity. And I hope to see everybody soon. So, rock on.